No homes to buy in Grand Rapids. Is that actually true? Is time telling the truth? And what do I think about it? I'm Brandon Faber with Remax Grand Rapids, and here's my realtor reaction video to the Time article telling us we don't have any homes to buy in Grand Rapids. So this took a study of the top 100 metros in the United States. Grand Rapids is one of them, and we are sitting at some dangerously low inventory. Here's what I think about it. So look, Time isn't totally incorrect. We still don't have very many homes available on the market. But as it stands, between this market and how they compare it to 2019, it's really no comparison. So let's step back in time. Can't we just go back there into 2019? Forget all of the COVID things. What was the real estate market doing? How can that possibly be a fair comparison to what we're dealing with here? And here's what we had. So prior to COVID in 2019, we had nearly 2,000 homes available in Grand Rapids. If you go back to my rule of thumb, it's about 1,000 homes on the market equals about 1 month of inventory. So we had about 2 months of inventory compared to what we're sitting at now. That Time graciously told us we didn't have very many homes. We're sitting at a little over a half a month of inventory. So just a little over 500 homes available to purchase. A 30-year mortgage back in 2019 was in the mid fours. So we had more inventory, and we also had pretty low interest rates historically. Weren't those the days? They absolutely were. So even if we take analysis from someone like Logan Mohtashami with Housing Wire, he says that is one of the most healthy real estate markets we've had in a while. And if we get back to that type of market, it can really do not only our industry of real estate well, it will also do better for our nation as a whole. Those are a little bit of me adding on to that, but I truly am a firm believer that, like Logan says, that is a great market that we should aim to get to in these days. So let's dive a little deeper. So why are those markets drastically different? And is there hope on the horizon? Let's take a look. Look back at some of the interest rates in 2019. They hung out in the fours and ended up closing out the year just prior to 2020 at 3.74%. Inventory of homes, like I said, was somewhere around 2,000 homes available to purchase. So we have a tremendous amount of opportunity there for buyers. So here comes 2020. Nothing like a little pandemic to shake up the economy a little bit, and boy, did it do its job. The economy coming out of all of the shutdowns is sputtering, trying to keep up. So what does our powers that be do? They pump a bunch of money into it and lower the interest rates to help jumpstart some things. Rates end the year sub 3% in 2020, but also the inventory has dropped by about 35% in 2020. Let's move into 2021, a year that could have been an opportunity for things to straighten out, but they just did not straighten out. Things were happening so fast. People were getting so used to having that cheap money. They wanted to keep the train moving. If you remember, at that point in 2021, things were largely understood about COVID. Businesses were getting back up and going again, which meant the economy was helping keep things moving along nicely without having to be jump-started. So interest rates should have gone up and should have probably ended the year in the low fours. So with everything booming again, we have not only starting to see some different shortages of things happening, but also we had an inflated market with some things because we had a shutdown for so long. We're overcompensating. Inflation is going up because we're spending money where we probably shouldn't as a nation. And now we need to have a quick fix. So rather than the long-term approach, all of a sudden we need a quick fix. So with inflation being out of control, the Federal Reserve needs to apply a tourniquet to the economy and stop the rampant inflation. And what do? They move from the 3s to the 4s from January to March, and then all the way up into the 7% interest rates for homes on a 30-year fixed in November. And at that time, we not only saw the inventory drop, but it dropped by 50% compared to the start of the year. So you have to remember, during those times when buying power was at its highest, so when interest rates were at their lowest, buying power was at their highest, here's what you get. You have buyers that are willing to go well above and beyond not only just the price and the value of the home when they're bidding a bid in, but also they're tempted to let go of some other things in high competition, like having their inspections done, but also other conditions in the home like appraisal gaps and things like that, which leads to the second thing that happens, and that is accelerated appreciation. So not only did we have more people enter the market, we had accelerated appreciation because supply was 35% lower than it was in 2019 and 2020 and 2021. Low supply, high demand because buyers want to take advantage of the 3% interest rates. That creates accelerated appreciation, not just our normal appreciation. So what do you suppose happens when they take the interest rates away? The buying power plummets, and people that have a home that have a 3 to low 4% interest rate aren't likely to want to just make a move to enter into a 7% interest rate mortgage on a different home that probably, when it becomes apples to apples on their payment, is even, or in some cases could even be less of a home. So that does nothing for us as far as favors go for an inventory. And on the buyer side, the buying power makes it so even the median home priced home is pretty unattainable considering everything else that was going on at the time. So where does that leave us now in 2023? We are bouncing back. Inventory is coming up. We are about double what we were during 2021, 2020, late 2020, early 2022, when inventory was less than half a month. It was probably right around a week to 2 weeks at the most when things were really moving. So we are, at 0.6 of a month. So we have almost double what we were in pandemic times. So things are bouncing back. We have more inventory than during the low interest rate days. We have more buyers entering the market now that they've become used to what these rates are doing. They're sick of their rents being raised 13% year over year, or contract over contract. So we have more sellers opening up to the idea of, okay, I have this equity, the payment, I can make it equal with different buyer and seller programs out there. You have your rate buy downs. If you build a home, a lot of times you can get a kickback from that. So that is opening some doors, but we're still not where we need to be compared to 2019. And how do we fix that? We need more homes. Not only that, affordable homes, something that is closer to that median price range for our area, which means more people can afford them, or we have more people that would be willing to get rid of their 3% interest rate, trade it off for something in the 6%. So there could be some help on the horizon. So Mayor Bliss said we need about 2,800 homes per year in the city to help combat this inventory shortage. And to put that in perspective, last year we had just over 800 permits pulled for the city. So if the mayor's coming out there in her address to the city and says we need 2,800, even though we only had 800, that means she's going to start incentivizing those investors to come in here and start doing some work, and maybe allowing some more leniency for zoning and things like that. So that's very encouraging if you're looking to move around the area. So in closing, yes, there is a shortage of homes in Grand Rapids because it is a desirable place to live. Generally, our cost of living is lower. Combine that with the fact that we have some very savvy buyers and sellers capitalize on the low interest rates. It's pretty tough out there, not going to lie to you, but there is hope on the horizon with hopefully more starts for new construction homes, which has the trickle-down effect for everybody else. So expect more inventory to come here in the spring. Buyers and sellers are used to the fact that things are likely never going to get back into the 3% range for interest rates. So let's make the best of what we got and go from there. So thanks so much for watching. Hit like if you liked it, hit subscribe if you really liked it, and tell your friends there's hope on the horizon for Grand Rapids real estate inventory.